Hola, alo, and hey y'all, it's Tom from GreenShortz, and I'm back on the tiny studio build today. And my goal is to get the rafters on as well as the roof decking. I'm also going to show you a raised roof design that I'm going to use for this project. That roof's going to sit above the cap of the building envelope, if you will, with an air gap. Any radiant heat coming through the roof, it'll simply be pulled out that air gap by the breeze. I was over at the job site earlier and I marked up a rafter with all the angles, and I'm going to do all the cutting here. Trusty workmate. Termites almost got this one. They started snacking, but I think this is structurally still good enough. And now it's got a little story to go with it. That's right, Kit. I'm using the handsaw. We'll see how long my arm holds out. Alright, there's the bird's mouth. Now I'll cut the other side. Therapeutic and a workout. Whew. I'm going to use my first rafter to mark out the others. I decided on a compromise with my biceps, which is to cut to length with the skill saw and then cut the bird's mouth by hand. Eyes and ears, JW. I'm going to mark all these with the same rafter so that my cuts don't migrate. If I'm marking with one that I just cut and then mark the next one with one I just cut, there's a chance that my lines get more and more off as I go. So, marking them all with the same rafter. The first one I cut. Whew. That's a workout, but that's part of the plan. I need to work out. Alright, I think you've got a good sense for what I'm doing here. Let me wrap these up. Now I'm going to start adding my rafters. Then I'll install the rafter on the other end to square up the building. I'll be installing the rafters at a 2-foot interval. Train's here. You can see the train through the trees here, just barely. Whew. I'm gonna take off half of the header that's sticking over the post. So I have a surface to connect what is gonna be sort of a band that comes out to my full 9-foot dimension, goes across, and then back in. Since I'm going to be piecing this together, to make it as rigid as possible, I'm going to use screws and construction adhesive. Jazz carpentry. I'm not so worried about this gap because I'm going to cover that with a whole 2x10. I'm going to put on some temporary ledgers here so I can match up the roof line. Salvaged 2x10 for the fascia. All right, all my rafters are in, and now I can finally add the decking. not an inchworm though, it's a centimeter worm. I can tell because he's speaking in metric. Whew. That was hard work. So the rafters are on, the fascia is on, and the roof decking is on. And I had to piece it together, which is typical when you're working with salvage materials, but I had just enough to get this done right. And the clips really help support this decking. I'll come back and throw a tarp on this to protect it from the rain and the leaves that are falling right now. The next step is going to be insulation on the roof, and then I'm actually going to cover this with rubber. So even though this is going to be the under roof, there will be a metal roof on top of that. If any water were to get underneath there with the wind, I don't want that getting inside the building. So a rubber roof, and then we're going to be bolting the tank tube elevated roof on top of that. And by we, I mean me, but I appreciate the fact that y'all are along for the ride here. Special thanks to my patrons and members for helping make these videos possible. I really do appreciate the support and the vote of confidence. And thank you to all of you who are active in the comments. I really do appreciate your feedback. As always, my mission is to help you see green so you can be green, and save a little green by doing it yourself. In this case, I'm saving a lot of green by doing it myself and using salvaged materials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday.